The SpaceX Dragon is SpaceX's reusable cargo spacecraft. It can be retrofitted for both crew-based missions as well as unmanned cargo missions. SpaceX Dragon program has been very successful as SpaceX now closely works with NASA as part of their commercial crew program. The Dragon has been used numerous times now to transport astronauts as well as only cargo to the International Space Station. The Dragon was also in the news recently as it was the spacecraft that was used for the Inspiration 4 mission. The popularity of the Dragon spacecraft is undeniable, and now SpaceX plans to double its fleet. Let us look at SpaceX's crazy plan to double their Dragon fleet in just 9 months. Details on the Dragon fleet expansion. The details on SpaceX's plans to increase and double their fleet of Dragon spacecraft came from NASA and SpaceX officials. During a briefing ahead of Crew Dragon's third operational astronaut launch, the public was allowed to see a more detailed picture of the future of Dragon spacecraft, and SpaceX plans to build more to further support NASA missions. In the briefing, SpaceX Director of Dragon Mission Management, Sarah Walker, first talked about NASA's Crew 3 mission and how it will debut a new Crew Dragon capsule. This new Dragon capsule will be carrying the Crew 3 mission to the International Space Station. It is part of an ISS crew transport mission that NASA runs. Crew 3 will carry 4 people: Raj Achari, Thomas Marshburn, Kayla Barron from NASA, and Matthias Mora from ESA. The Dragon capsule will be on board a SpaceX Falcon 9 booster number B1067. B1067 debuted on June 3, 2021, and previously sent the upgraded Cargo Dragon spacecraft to the International Space Station for an unmanned cargo run. While Crew 3 won't be the third crewed launch of a flight-proven Dragon, it will still play the important role of debuting a new vehicle as SpaceX works to assemble a fleet of reusable orbital spacecraft. The new Dragon 2 capsule is likely C210 for this mission. Currently, 2 other crew-ready Dragon 2 capsules are operational. These are the Dragon 2 C206 named Endeavour and Dragon 2 C207 named Resilience. With C210, the total comes to 3 Dragon 2 crew spacecraft. And SpaceX's Walker further confirmed that Crew 4, recently scheduled to launch in April 2022, will also debut a new Crew Dragon capsule. This will grow the company's crew capsule fleet to 4 vehicles by mid-2022. And if we look at the cargo side of things for the Dragon 2 capsule, then Walker revealed that SpaceX will debut another 2 new Cargo Dragon 2 spacecraft on its CRS-24 and CRS-25 missions in December 2021 and May 2022, raising the company's uncrewed Dragon fleet to 4 capsules strong. As long as the ISS remains operational, SpaceX will likely continue to deliver cargo biannually, requiring around 12 to 18 more Cargo Dragon launches between now and 2030. It's possible that Starship will quickly replace Dragon as soon as it's operational. But that is still a very far away prospect since Starship is years away from being ready and certified by NASA. So, it does seem that SpaceX's fleet of reusable Dragon spacecraft will double from 4 to 8 capsules in the next 8 months, with 2 of each crew and cargo variant being added to the fleet. Dragon capsule throughout the years. SpaceX Dragon program goes back to 2010 when the first Dragon 1 capsule made its maiden flight. It was a historic moment because Dragon 1 C101 was the first ever commercially built and operated spacecraft to be recovered successfully from orbit. It is currently on display in SpaceX headquarters. In just 2 years, on May 25, 2012, another Dragon 1 serial number C102 made history, again for being the first ever commercial spacecraft to rendezvous with and attach to the ISS. This exact capsule is also on display. Today you can see it at the Kennedy Space Center Visitor Complex in Florida. The Dragon 1 capsules were part of the NASA Commercial Resupply Services program, and Dragon 1 started making regular cargo flights after October 2012. The Dragon 1 capsules were built entirely for cargo missions. The last Dragon 1 capsule flew on March 7, 2020 for the CRS-20 cargo resupply mission to the International Space Station. All Dragon 1 capsules have been decommissioned, and all future cargo and crew missions will be done on SpaceX's new and improved Dragon 2 capsule. SpaceX was working on a crew version of the Dragon, which later became the Dragon 2 capsule that SpaceX currently uses for crew and cargo missions. Flight testing of the Dragon 2 was completed in 2019 after a delay caused by a test pad anomaly in April 2019, which resulted in the loss of a Dragon 2 capsule. The first ever crewed flight of astronauts on the Dragon 2 happened just last year in 2020. Improvements in the Dragon 2. Unlike Dragon 1, the SpaceX Dragon 2 capsule can autonomously dock to the ISS instead of being berthed. It is able to perform fully autonomous rendezvous and docking with manual override ability using the NASA docking system. The Dragon 1 was berthed Canadarm2 robotic arm on the International Space Station. It required a lot more attention and effort from the crew to dock spacecraft. But autonomous rendezvous will free up the crew during docking. The crew on the Dragon 2 can dock the spacecraft using manual controls interfaced with a static tablet-like computer. The pilot can manually override the automatic docking procedure and do a manual one instead. But overall, an automatic rendezvous system is a considerable improvement, and it will further streamline the docking process. This is especially great for unmanned cargo missions. Another improvement is that the crew version of Dragon 2 can remain docked to the International Space Station for 210 days. This matches the time Russian Soyuz spacecraft can remain docked for. Typically though, Crew Dragon only remains docked to the ISS for 180 days. Dragon 2 is also partially reusable, so it's a lot cheaper for NASA to run resupply missions to the International Space Station. The Dragon 2 is also designed better, and the deployable solar arrays have been eliminated and are now built into the trunk itself. This increases volume space, reduces the number of mechanisms on the vehicle, and further increases reliability. Overall, the Dragon 2 has been a great improvement over the Dragon 1, and it seems like both NASA and SpaceX are happy with their performance since they plan to make more of these. Details on the Crew 3 mission. The latest Crew Dragon, serial number C210, will be making its maiden flight on October the 30th at about 2:43 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The launch will be on board a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket from the Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. SpaceX Crew 3 will be the third operational NASA commercial crew flight of a Crew Dragon spacecraft and the fourth overall crewed flight for NASA. Crew Dragon capsules so far have been given names by their initial crews: Endeavour for the first and Resilience for the second. For the Crew Dragon C210, the name chosen has been Endurance. According to Mission Commander Raja Chari, the name was chosen to honor the SpaceX and NASA teams that built the spacecraft and trained the astronauts who will fly it. These workers endured a pandemic. Endurance also has historical significance, as it was the name of the ship used by Sir Ernest Shackleton for the Imperial Trans-Antarctic Expedition. The three-masted vessel sank in 1915 after being bound in ice before reaching Antarctica. It is widely considered to be the last major expedition of the heroic age of Antarctic exploration. Crew 3 astronauts will become the third crew to fly a full-duration mission to the space station on Dragon for a 6-month stay on the orbiting laboratory. They are scheduled to arrive at the space station 22 hours later at 12:30 a.m. on Sunday, Eastern Daylight Time. It seems like both NASA and SpaceX are happy with Dragon 2 program and its overall performance for the past year. This is why SpaceX has chosen to double their fleet of Dragon 2 capsules, adding 2 of each crew and cargo variant to their fleet of reusable Dragon 2 spacecraft. Space